Hello, my name is Michael. I'm co-founder and CEO of agency Personit. I started it with my business partner Pavel in 2021. We have 7 in-house developers and we work with startups at SMB using Bubble, Flutterflow, and Zano to create mobile and web apps.
What were the beginnings of your agency and why did you choose NoCode?
Um, so I met Pavel at one of networking events in Warsaw. I was talking with a bunch of regular developers and asking them about their opinion about no-code development. And obviously, most of the regular developers are not too optimistic about no-code. So that was a kind of a tough conversation with them. Uh, so after that conversation, they obviously they thought that they told me that in their opinion, no code is not something that is worth exploring. And after that conversation with developers, a guy came up to me and said, "Hey, are you interested in no code?" And I said, "Yeah, it's really awesome. And I think it's a game changer. It's going to be something really, really huge." And that was Pavel, my business partner and CEO of Personit agency. So that was the beginning. And it was a time when I was working in a regular agency, seeing how custom development is done. It was an international company working with customers from the United States, from Western Europe. So awesome, a lot of awesome projects. But I saw the benefits of no code, and I thought that that's going to be something huge, and I wanted to do something by myself. And when I met Pavel, we decided as this awesome coincidence that we have the same mindset, the same opinion about about no code, and so we have to do something together. So we started our agency, Persona.
And what were you doing before launching the agency?
I studied law, and basically it wasn't like to be honest, it wasn't the best decision. Like looking from the now perspective. I worked in a variety of different businesses as a head of sales, and head of partnership, head of growth in a lot of different companies. And this is why I saw such a huge benefit in no because I was looking at this technology from the business perspective and how beneficial it can be for businesses to quickly implement new solutions, new app, new mobile, and new web apps. So kind of my background and my work experience gave me this benefit to look at no code not from the tech perspective but from the business perspective. And this is why I really appreciate those kinds of solutions.
Were there any initial challenges you encountered with NoCode? I mean, related with your local market, industry, competition, or clients?
Yeah, obviously. Like when we started traveling around Poland about 1.5, not only around Poland, also around Europe 1.5 years ago, like the knowledge about the no code was really low. Like everyone were aware that something like Zapier, Make, or Atel exists, but in the end, no one knew that we are able to do web and mobile apps using no code tools like Bubble, like Flutterflow, like Zano, Superbase. So basically, and that was something shocking for me, from my perspective, because I saw a lot of startups in acceleration process and incubation process that might that could use no code development to create their MVPs, like cost efficiently and really fast. And that was quite shocking for me. So we did a lot of work, a lot of workshops, meetings, a lot of conversations with people from startup ecosystem in Poland, in particular, to kind of show them the benefits of no code. So I see, obviously, we were kind of I think we were first agency that did that in Poland. Obviously, we're not the first one in Poland, but we were the first that did that work and traveled and trying to evangelize startup community and showing them no code benefits of no code. And right now, the awareness is much higher. And this is the cool part of it. Right now in Poland, there's going to be there's a lot of acceleration and incubation programs that are starting right now. we're gonna create hundreds of startups, like those accelerators and incubators are gonna create hundreds of startups, and most of that programs are aware that no code exists and how they might be, and they see benefits in using no code to do that, to use that in their programs. So this is how it changed from lack of knowledge to kind of awareness, but still there's a lot of things to be done. Right now, we started campaigns to show SMBs also the benefits of no code, because from our perspective, the most important thing is that the biggest change that no code do is giving access to innovation for those companies or those people who couldn't afford that before the no code revolution. So SMBs, early stage startups, those are the biggest beneficiaries of no code, and that's what we are trying to kind of show to them. And this is why we do a lot of work and a lot of evangelization around Polish companies and ecosystems.
Let's get back to the agency. Can you describe any significant milestones you've reached so far?
Yeah, so I see two big milestones that we had. One was we did a cool project that combined no code and AI. I'm gonna talk about that project in more details later. And the second thing is our first project in United States, which is always always awesome. A lot of software agencies in Poland are looking up to United States, obviously bigger startup ecosystems, more solid, with a bigger experience. So being active at this market, it's I think a huge step. It's a huge step for us. And I think that like I said about those events, when like last year we were partners at one of events in Krakow, WasteConf, and there was only a small portion of no code during that event. And this year edition, we're gonna have a stage with speakers dedicated to no code. So in 1 year, we had only a small bit of no code, and right now, no code is something, like it's WasteConf. It's an event for designers, UX, UIs, those kinds of people. So 1 year, and you had such a huge change from lack of knowledge again to a dedicated stage for no code speakers. So I see that as something that is, from our perspective, also a huge milestone, because this is our work that we done in showing event organizers that they should put no code on their list, because it's going to be a huge thing. We recently launched our startup Evento. It's a platform that helps event managers create sold out events through social marketing and micro influence. The app is completely built in Babel. I'll show you how it works. You can create an event that will link to the ticket purchase page. After entering the link, the participant can generate personalized graphics and share it with one click. Now, as an organizer, you see a list of who generated the personal graphics and how many visits to the event website it generated, because each graphic is unique and clickable. Another example of the project is AI Sprinter, which allows to learn your writing style to effectively run your company's social media, propose topics, content, and photos. This platform creates posts written by AI that sounds exactly like you. The project is available on the Polish local market, but will soon be launched globally. The application allows you to generate photos, posts, topics, and convert long articles or text from a blog to a post. It uses many artificial intelligence models and our own solutions, and it's also built on the Bubble platform.
From your perspective, how has no-code changed the way we create software? Let's compare it to the traditional software development.
Yeah, so I think that no code give access to innovations to companies that couldn't afford that innovations. That's the first main impact. That it's not, no code. I think it's only at the first stage of the how it's going to revolutionize access to innovations. but I think that that's going to be a biggest impact. Like everyone is talking about crisis right now. That that there are a lot of layoffs in tech industry, not only tech industry but in general a lot of layoffs. So people are more and companies like big companies are doing layoffs, and small companies. It's a perfect moment for those companies to be more active and to get a bigger part of the market. Because when the big players are bleeding out, the small players can only the crisis. Crisis is always a perfect moment for smaller players to get a bigger amount of the market. And using no-code tools, using no-code solutions, or adding tools that make company more efficient, more innovative, more automated, thanks to no-code, can bring bigger efficiency in those small businesses and make them a bigger players during the crisis. They can, lower their costs, make their employees more efficient. So that's like the perfect moment to add tools made in a no code inside of that company. And like I said, it would be not possible using custom development to create the same tools, the same apps in that process. So that's the biggest impact, I think. The second thing is that being part of this, software engineering family, or software development family. It's that's using no code. There's a lower bar for people to create their own tools, their own apps, and because like this learning curve in a no code and being a good no code developer, it's much easier to become a developer using like the regular tech stack. So that's the two things that I think that they're going to bring that have a biggest impact. First of all, this access to innovation, and second thing is that people who want to learn a no code development can do it much easier than learning regular development.
Could you give us an example where no code offered a distinct advantage over traditional software development?
Uh, huh. Yeah, obviously. uh, yeah, so I know that I spoke about our case study Evento. It's an example of how we did our own startup. So basically, we created an MVP in 2 weeks. And what 1 week we had first 5 customers, and after in fourth week we had uh, first investment opportunities. So imagine doing the same thing using regular development. It would be impossible. So that shows how fast we can move and how fast we can validate our concepts using no code. And that's because when we work with a lot of startups, and we always have this conversation with startups about their customers, about the concept validation. And thanks to no code, we like imagine two startups with the same idea. One is custom development, one is no code development. Using no code development, you can put your product on the market in 2 months, get information, get feedback from your customers, then pivot if it's necessary, add new features if it's necessary, and be ahead of your and have already customers, already feedback, already part, obviously, the structure of a market, and your competitors doing similar thing. They are still at the development stage, and they're gonna need many more months to create a functional product that they could put on the market, and you're already ahead of them. And like you know obviously, if you're competitors, you're creating new features, new possibilities for your customers. So you can create those features in days or in weeks, and your competitor is going to do the same thing in months. So you can if you want, you can copy the things that they added in days, and you can be ahead to create new things, and they would not even know from what happened, because you move so fast. And in startup industry, the faster you move, the better you are. So that's something that is like a huge game changer for everyone and every startup. Like I'm gonna say it so many times. Hopefully, more and more people gonna understand that. If you are a startup founder, you should consider no code as an early stage. Obviously, even that should consider no code as a main tech stack for your startup as an early stage startup. That's going to give you a huge advantage and a huge boost, and you can be ahead of your competitors, and closer to being a unicorn or successful startup. Yeah.
Let's talk about the common misconceptions about no code that you encounter and how do you address them? I mean, speaking with clients, for example.
Uh, Yeah, so those questions are if is no code scalable? There's examples of a lot of startups made using no code tech stack that have millions of users and it's still on no code. So that's the one misconception that no code is not scalable. It is. Even the startups or companies that create no code tools are aware that this is one of the main questions for startup founders or for users. Is it scalable? So they're doing everything that they can to make the tools or what is an outcome using those tools to make it as scalable as it can be. So that's the first misconception. The second is from the startup perspective, are VC funds willing to invest in startup made in no code? And the answer is yes. In the end, obviously, you cannot do any like everything in no code. Like every tech stack has its limitations. So there is startups that are innovative from the business perspective, which are perfect for no code, and startups innovative from the tech perspective. And sometimes no code is going to be a perfect fit, sometimes not for those kinds of startups. But when you're a startup that is innovative from the business perspective, the technology in the end, it's only a tool that you use to get access to your clients. And if you go to a VC fund with a bunch of clients with validated concept, with something that you can show and prove that works, and there is a need on the market for these kinds of solutions, VC funds will not, analyze your tech stack because they're going to analyze your business model because how beneficial, how efficient it can be, how many customers you can get. That's going to be something really important for them, not the tech stack. So that's I think the second misconception that if you're doing something in no code, VCs not going to invest in that. No, that's not true. We have a lot of examples to prove that it's wrong assumption. And I think third thing is that no code development is not real development. uh, and it is basically there is when you like for example Flutterflow, you can explore Flutter code over there, so you can it's basically something that helps you make those apps more efficient, and there is that code but it's packed in those boxes over in the and it's visualized to make it more efficient to create those kinds of apps. So the code is there, and we use the term no code that the creation like creating apps is more efficient because of that. But there is code and no code, but because of so many apps that were made during the tech revolution, those creators of that tools are able to create those bugs because like I spoke with one of the companies and they said every regular software house thinks that they're kind of doing magic that no one understands. But there's millions of apps made every year, and I don't know specific statistics, but I think there's millions of apps published on App Store or Google Apps, and probably even more apps that are made for smaller companies that are made in-house or made so we have billions of apps made during those years, so we already know how to build those apps. We have some things that are not unique, like similar for every app have a login, every app have a administrator dashboard, so those are common things, and we think that regular developers are always coding and doing that from scratch. It's not true. Obviously, they're coping. They're using assets that they have from the project that they already did, or line of codes that they already used. So they're copy pasting those kinds of things, changing the design. So basically, they're kind of no coding, but without all those extra benefits that no code tools gives you. So this is something that is this is the huge thing in no code.
What are your predictions for the future of no-code development? Any trends, upcoming technologies that you find particularly exciting?
Mm, yeah, I think every day brings a new tools in no code industry. The no code ecosystem is growing really fast. So even for people that are inside the community, inside kind of the movement, we are not able to kind of know everything that happens here. And it happens a lot. Like being uh, looking at how AI is growing, I sometimes I have more optimistic visions about the future of no code, sometimes more pessimistic. Like it depends from which perspective do you see that. If you're looking from the like I'm looking from the agency perspective. So I think like in 5, 6 years, unfortunately for I don't know if I should be pessimistic and doing our conversation, but I think in 5, 6 years the AI gonna be so advanced that it's gonna be much easier for everyone to create their mobile or web apps. It's not gonna be something that is gonna be like you know um, an end of no code agencies, but in the end we're gonna move like no code gonna be more and more efficient. So it's gonna be easier and easier to create those kinds of solutions or those kinds of app mobile and web apps. So the importance of no-code developers or developers in the end going to be lower and lower every year with new tools and new possibilities. But still, there's going to be need for people who are going to help take people who want to create something from the idea stage to real product stage. So that's but it's going to be less and less development, even in no code development. I think that it's going to be about, I'm talking about 5, 6, or even more years. And right now, I saw a cool tools that helps you create like backend using native English and AI, it's really efficient and it works really well. We're gonna test that in one of our projects. So like I said, every day and every week brings you new products, and it's gonna be something that's gonna change a lot of industries and give a lot of possibilities for those years for no code agencies.
What advice would you give to aspiring developers that are interested in the no-code space? Give one piece of advice why they should start with no-code and one reason why they shouldn't.
I think I said my last answer why they shouldn't, because custom development developers are not aware that every knowledge have a you know it's not going to last forever. So we have to always, especially it's such a crazy time that we are living in. The technology is growing really fast. That unfortunately your no code knowledge or your knowledge in general not going to last forever. So you can start being a no code developer today, like start learning no code development, and like I said, in 5, 6 years your knowledge might be pointless. But that's one aspect of that. But like I said, technology is something that that change our lives dramatically. AI gonna change our life dramatically. So it's not gonna be only no code developers, but a lot of industries gonna and a lot of people gonna have the same similar problem that you have gonna have to pivot your work career during like every 7 or even 6 years. You're gonna have to change your career like dramatically. So even though that knowledge might not last forever, still it's something that gonna can give you a particular mindset and particular awareness of how things are done, an experience working with variety of companies, smaller and bigger companies, and access to no code and to be a no code developer. It's basically about uh, how much you want to become a no code developer. So it's not something that's only for science universities graduates. It's also for everyone who want to be a part of this movement. So basically, you can start, watching tutorials or just signing up to Babbel and start watching their instruction videos or just learning, and you can do a really awesome things really really fast. So after half a year of solid learning and doing projects, you can be fully self made no code developers working with companies all around the world. So so that's those two things. You have to be aware that in that time that we are living in, knowledge and the job that you're going to pick will not last forever. It's not, baby boomers times when you could be in one company for all your life. Right now, the times has changed. So that's the one thing. But from the second thing, it's easier to be a. It's not so tough to become a good local developer.